Hello, Ritchie?
Yes.
Oh, great. And first of all, I would like to hear your comments about Stranger in a Song.
Okay. What would you like to hear?
Your comment in general, how do you think of the tracks, how they were born, if they were gems or riffs that you have already written, everything you want to tell us about the new record.
It's good. That's it. We took about 2 years to put Stranger in Us all together, and it's basically 11 tracks, and they're tracks that
11?
11.
Because
in fact, no, it's 10 actually.
yes.
There's a number, and it's 10 tracks that put together over the last couple of years with a new collection of guys.
Yes.
And it's what you might call very melodic rock and roll. I don't think there's too many bands doing it at the moment, but we emphasize heavily the melodic content, and there's some interesting stuff on there, I think. It goes from things like Aerial, which is like a Middle Eastern type of track,
Yes.
to Hall of the Mountain King, which was a tune I used to play every now and again on stage. And then we put it to a vocal. So we had the vocal and then going into an instrumental and speeding up towards the end and getting more and more frantic, very much like the actual record itself.
Yes.
Of in the Hall of the Mountain King, the classical version. It's a very simple piece, but I think it's very exciting.
And when you recorded the Hall of the Mountain King, did you remember the version you used to play with when you did the Lancaster single with Chess Hodges and Mick Underwood, or you didn't think?
It's the same tune, but the whole arrangement is much different.
Of course.
Very, very different. Yes, I first recorded Hall of the Mountain King in 1964, I think, and I don't think I'm trying to remember if Chaz was playing. I can't remember who was playing on the original. It was for Kim Fowley. I think he was the manager of the Runaways at the time.
Yes.
And PJ Proby. He was in London, and we did it as an instrumental, but I never heard any more about it.
It's been reissued on a CD of your Prepare for Work 2 years ago. That's why I know of this.
I don't know, because they put out so much, I think.
Yes.
I'm surprised they don't put me out sitting on the toilet.
Yes. And about Stranger in Us All, is there a favorite track?
My favorite track it varies. My favorite track could be Hunting Humans, Aerial, which we're remixing today, tomorrow actually, and in the Hall of the Mountain King, because they're a type of tracks that no other band would, in my opinion, kind of record, because it's not grunge music and it's not commercial music, so it's kind of in its own little world, and it's not exactly commercial.
Not at all.
No. So,
I think you will have a difficult choice if you want to put out a single, because there is not the 3 minutes.
That's right. We didn't. I'm very lucky in having a record company that lets me play what I want to play. So everything on the LP is what I would like to hear from a band. There's some good live tracks too. I think they'll sound very good when we play live.
signals from you to do things like this. And can you tell me how did you found the other rainbow members?
Yes, I found the Doogie, the singer, I found on a cassette. My girlfriend had a cassette of him, and we put it on. I said, "Who's that?" She said, "Just some singer." The only thing we had on there was something that said Doogie White and his telephone number in London. So I called him up and I said I'd like to hear him at the rehearsal. And that's what he did. He came across and we rehearsed for 2 days. And then I thought he was very good. And then he went back to London and then he came back again 2 months later and we went into the studio to do the pre-recording stuff. We went into this big house in upstate New York, and we all lived together, and we just wrote the music up there. And then the other members was John O'Reilly. He was a drummer that plays on Long Island, and I'd heard about him, and I was particularly interested in his timekeeping because it was very steady. And he's not a showy type of drummer, but he's more of a timekeeper, which I think is very important. It's very hard to find a drummer these days that plays in time. So, to me, that's the first thing a drummer should be able to do. But it is very difficult to find a drummer that plays in time. And then the bass player was another Long Islander. I'd seen him playing in a small club, and I liked the way that he plays a very punchy right hand. His right hand he executes very well as far as he hits hard and it's very rock and roll. He's a rock and roll bass player, whereas sometimes we did have another bass player, but he was a very jazzy influence, and I felt that we weren't getting across the right rock and roll music. It was too jazzy. But this guy, he knows, he's not interested in any pseudo kind of music. He's just in down home type of hard rocking music, which is what I look for in a bass player.
I see.
And the keyboard player, Paul, I was playing in a club in Long Island with some friends of mine, and he came up to me and said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, 10 years ago you auditioned me and David Rosenthal got the job." I said, "Really?" And so I tried him out, and he was obviously very good, and he got the job straight away. He's a brilliant player, very, very good. And he's from Long Island too. So they're basically all from Long Island except for Doogie, who's from Scotland.
And what do you like most in Douglas White's voice?
The fact that he can roll his R's. He's a tough singer that can. Why I like him is he can sing a hard rock song, but then he can sing a ballad, and then he can sing some old Scottish folk songs. So he has a broad spectrum as far as his voice goes.
Yes, to me, his main force is versatility.
Yes.
He can do a lot of different songs.
Right. He's very versatile. He likes a lot of types of music, and it's nice to have a singer that can sing all different ways.
Of course.
I often feel that most singers tend to just sing one way and that's it, and sometimes you want to approach the song from a different angle.
And about Pat Regan,
yeah.
Did you choose him because of his good job on the Betteridge Zone?
That's not so much from that, but he did some of the live stuff, and I liked him as a person. And he was, I'd heard some of his other stuff that he's recorded, like Freight Train, Jane, things like that. He did a very good job in producing them, and he's a great musician, and he knows how to oversee a band. And say, it's the first time I've ever worked with a producer. I usually work with just Roger or somebody that's just a mixer, really. And it's the the first time I've worked with a producer, so
Yes.
it was interesting.
How did you find it, being a producer?
It helped me a lot because he knew how to correct Doogie and to keep Doogie in line, whereas sometimes I wouldn't know quite what to tell Doogie as far as singing, approaching a song, but he would always know what angle would be the best, which way to sing something. And he came in very handy for helping me out, because I tend to write an arrangement, and then I do the music, and I make sure that the song is going to work, but then I don't stick with it. I tend to kind of go off for walks or something when the singer is singing. So it helps to have someone there that can carry on my train of thought onto the record.
And why did you decide to call your band Blackmore's Rainbow? Because we also heard about Rainbow Moon, but we don't know if that was just rumors.
That's right. It was going to be called Rainbow Moon at first, and then I noticed, because Moon was my name before it was Blackmore was Moon, and I thought that would be interesting. I always liked the word Moon.
Yes.
I have a strange fascination for the moon, and but then I noticed all of a sudden there were so many bands called Moon, especially over here. I must have seen about 10 bands in the paper, the local, called the Cadillac Moon, called this Moon, called that Moon, Moon Boat Lover or something, and I thought, there's just too many Moons. So I went back to the original, because I thought it might confuse people too. They might wonder what Moon was.
What Moon means, yes. And have you already rehearsed some songs for when Rainbow will play live?
No, we haven't started yet. We will start in about 1 month rehearsing.
But have you already got any ideas or not?
Yes, I have. I'm kind of writing down what I think might be some good tracks to do. It'll be some of the old, a lot of the new, and maybe even a couple of Purple songs.
Like Burn?
Burn was mentioned. I think Doogie likes Burn, so we might do a verse of Burn.
Yes.
It was a good tune.
And can you tell me if there a particular meaning behind the title "Stranger in Us All," or is just because it is in one of the songs?
Yes, it's both. It's in one of the songs, and it's, to me, I've always thought there's two people in everybody's head. I think maybe there's the good person and the bad person. I think it's like black and white. I think there's that alter ego, that other person that we sometimes talk to, that stranger that's in all of us, that gets us to do crazy things, good things, creative things, and destructive things. I firmly believe there are two people in one.
I see.
And most of the time it's a stranger that we don't really know. It's almost like a guide. It's somebody it's there but keeps in the shadows, or keeps away from the limelight.
And who is Mr. Israelo, who helped you in the writing of the record?
That's my girlfriend.
Is Candy?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, great. I didn't know it because on my fax is mentioned as Candy's Night.
That's right.
Maybe it's just
It's Candy's Night is the name she goes under, but her real name is Israel.
Yes.
She has two names.
Yes. And about Candy, I was told that you had some plans of recording a medieval record with her as a singer.
That's right. We've written about 8 songs, and we play. Sometimes we play at festivals, and it's just music, then kind of a folk thing too. And we should be making that LP soon too. That'll be just the two of us with other instruments, other guitar players, other flutes and sackbuts and all the crumb horns, instruments that we used back in those days. But at the moment I'm torn between making it totally authentic or commercializing it a little bit. But then my only problem is if I commercialize it, then I don't have so much fun playing it. Because then you start to build a little commercial monster that record companies want you to sound like this or sound like that to sell records. And the reason that I wrote these songs and these ideas was to get away from the mainstream and being commercial. So I'm torn at the moment which way to take it, to be totally authentic or to go into a more of a Moog synthesized effect.
I have about this question because I don't know if I sent you through Jim 1 year ago a tape of an Italian band who plays a sort of baroque music. Maybe did you get that tape or?
What was the name of the band?
It's called Rondo Veneziano. It was a tape I sent Jim.
I think I did get it. I think I did.
Maybe you can get some inspiration from this band for your medieval music record with Candice.
No. This is stuff I wrote this stuff starting off about 5 years ago. So I've been writing it for a long time. And I would play it often just for my own relaxation. And until people have heard it, and then Candice put certain lyrics to it and certain chord sequences, and then people have said how much they like it. So I thought, maybe we'll do it as a kind of a side project.
Yes, but if you do this particular record, do you think there are chances of concert, or that kind of music is very difficult?
Yes, it would be very small concerts.
Yes,
it would just be like 100 people concert, and it's my other kind of life that I lead is a kind of a minstrel. It's my other music that I favor almost more than rock and roll, but I play the classical stuff, and we do it. It's very private functions. I couldn't imagine it taking off on a grand scale because it's a very selective type of music. It's much more private. It's not the type of thing where you have a bass drum playing and it's not. I don't think it's mass appeal, although it's very catchy, some of the tunes. But like I said in the beginning, it's I almost don't want it to be too commercial.
Yes, because I remember that in 1991 in Germany you let me hear a tape of a German band called Des Jamais, and was a very strange German name.
Des Gaius Schwarzenhaufen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're my friends and influences. They influenced me to start this type of music.
Yes.
I saw them playing in a castle, and they intrigued me and excited me, and I found myself, very enthusiastic about playing similar type of music.
Yes, and I know this is a very different question, and I think it will be one of the questions that you must hear too many times, but I must ask it because the magazine readers want to know. Can you tell us if there was a particular reason behind your decision to leave Deep Purple?
Oh yes, It started about, I wasn't too happy about having Ian Gillan in the group. The rest of the members wanted him as a singer, and I didn't. Then I said I'd go along with it and just see how it went. And the last LP, Battle Rages On, I had nothing to do with it. I wrote the backing tracks, but I had no say over what he would sing because I wasn't particularly interested. I left that to Roger. But I noticed that about a week into the tour, I wasn't particularly happy with the way he was singing. And then about 2 weeks into the tour, he lost his voice, which can happen to anybody. But what bothered me was he wouldn't sing the lyrics of a couple of the songs. He would just forget them. And then he would make fun of the whole point to the audience. He would just laugh or just take a drink and turn his back on the audience or whatever he would do. And this would go on for like 2 numbers. This is like 10 minutes on stage. And I saw John Lord. I said, well, you know that Ian just doesn't sing these 2 songs. I think one was called Talking About Love. Twist of the Tail, that's right. And John said, really? I'll have a word with him to see if he can remember the words. But it didn't do any good, and he just seemed to get worse. And I don't have a lot of respect for Ian. I don't like him particularly as a person either. So about 3 weeks in, I just couldn't take him seriously. I felt that he was more of a circus entertainer. So I said to the rest of the band, I wrote them a letter saying I'm going to leave at the end of Europe. I don't want to go to Japan. I don't want to carry on touring because I'm not enjoying backing Ian Gillan. He's just the way he was in the old days. I'm not impressed. So I said, I'll be leaving. Hopefully you'll find another guitar player. I didn't want to leave on the spur of the moment because then they would not have been able to finish touring. So I wanted to give them a lot of notice. I gave them about 5 weeks notice, I think. And then they got the other guitar player and went to Japan. But it was basically Ian Gillan. I just don't like the way he sings or the way he acts.
Yes.
He knows that.
About yourself and Gillan, it's like I remember that once John Lord told me that it's like it's impossible to have you and Ian in the same city.
Same what?
In the same city.
Yes, that's right.
Because you are it's not much musically.
No,
but it's personally.
That's right.
It's very different.
Yes, it's I don't like the way he acts at all.
But do you think that the way he acts is natural or is for impressing people?
Exactly.
And making them believe I am
Exactly.
nasty?
That's right. He does a lot of things for effect. That's very true. And yeah, I've noticed he does that. I don't know why he feels that he has to do things for effect, why he can't just be himself.
Yes. And what really happened in Birmingham?
Well,
Because
yes, that was it was basically what happened was we'd been told that they were going to videotape the show. And I said, well, that's a good idea to videotape the show. Let's do it in the beginning, the first 3 or 4 gigs, so that the band is fresh and Ian Gillan hasn't lost his voice. And with that, they said, no, we can't do that. I said, well, why not? If we have, they wanted to push, I think it was Enya. And I said, you should really push it now, not when we go to England, because that's 6 weeks away. That will take too long, and that's the end of the tour, more or less. So my whole thing was I wanted to get on with promoting there and then, but they wanted to wait, the record company. And when we got to Birmingham, I said, look, I didn't want any cameras near me on the stage, because they have a habit of getting in the way of the people, and they don't make you feel very comfortable. So that was agreed. They said, okay, yeah, we won't have any cameras near you or on the stage. I went, great. Then, carry on, I don't care. But when I walked on stage, there was a camera right next to me. So I walked back off again. And I said to my roadie, I said, make sure this camera is moved, because I can't go on with this camera on the stage. And then they came up to me and said, yes, it's been moved. There's no cameras on stage, everything's fine. So I said, oh great. I walked back on again, and there was 2 cameras still there. They haven't moved. So I had to turn around and walk off again. And of course, unfortunately, the people were very good at Birmingham. Great audience. And they're seeing me walk on, walk off, walk on, because I was not about to play with the cameras on the stage. So in the end, I had to take it upon myself. It's funny how you have people that you pay to do this job to make sure things like this don't happen. And basically, they couldn't do that, so I had to do it myself. I just got a beer, and I ran around the back, and I threw a beer over the camera so he would move and get off the stage.
Yes.
And that's what happened.
Yes.
And it's these things happen.
It's crazy how these things can happen.
It's ridiculous that I have
yes,
to.
Ridiculous is the word.
That I have to bother with this when there should be people there saying, "Look, just get off the stage, go back over there," because there were 6 cameras, I think. But I had to take it upon myself because nobody would do it for me, and I wasn't about to play. So unfortunately, the poor audience is watching me running like around, throwing things at people, and they're thinking, "Why, he's gone crazy?" Not crazy at all. They never really knew the reason why it was going on.
Yes, I mean, there are not many videos about Deep Purple or Rainbow, and in one video you destroy a camera.
Right.
In the other you throw glasses of beer, and the people
right.
can think, "Oh, Ritchie is the usual crazy
right.
guy that when he sees a camera he acts strange."
That's right.
From what I hear from you, there were
yeah.
important reasons for that.
That's right.
Yes.
It was a very interesting how it went down, but it was very interesting to hear the other people's reaction. When other people were asked, the band or the roadies were asked, why did Ritchie do it? It's, oh, he's just crazy. Absolutely no answer to why. They knew exactly why I did it, but they'd rather say that I'm just crazy. I think it suits their purpose.
Yes.
But it's sometimes it works in reverse. People think, oh, if he's crazy, I want to go and see this crazy guy.
And is it true that you have thought of making a video after the Rainbow Tour, when the Rainbow Tour is over, with some on and off stage video clips, or that is not true?
No, I haven't heard about that.
No, maybe it was just rumors.
Yes.
Okay. And why did you change your PA from Marshall to Angle?
Right, Angle amps. I prefer the sound of Angle amps. They have more character. Marshall is just very, very loud. And for a long time now, I've been dissatisfied with the Marshall. I was always very frustrated trying to get a good sound, and all they were was just very, very loud. So I tried this Angle amp, and I was very pleased with it. So now I'm going to be playing Angle amps on stage.
And
Marshall, to me, is a very loud, reliable amplifier, but it doesn't have any character.
Character?
Character.
Yeah. And when did you discover this Angle amps?
Oh, about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I started playing in a small club with a band around here. I haven't played in small clubs for a long time, so I just started playing in 1 or 2 clubs with this band. What I would do is I'd get up with them and play 4 or 5 numbers. And they were a very quiet band, so I needed something really quiet. And I had this small amplifier around the house, a small Angle. And once I started using that, I liked it. Then I got to the studio with the Rainbow project, and I noticed that when I went back to my Marshalls, they were just loud. And they weren't very encouraging to play anything. So I stuck with the Angle amps because I preferred it. And I think you can get a better sound when you play a bit quieter.
Yes, and I've heard that there's going to be a Ritchie Blackmore model Fender guitar. Is it true?
Yes, that's right, actually. I have it in front of me.
Yeah.
It's a 2 pickup Fender that I designed with Fender people. It's the neck and the body are all one. And it's a little bit smaller.
Smaller?
Yeah, it's not that you've noticed, but it's a bit smaller, and it has 2 pickups instead of 3. And the neck, because the neck is, the body and the neck are all one, it resonates better, the sound.
Did you use it on Stranger in Us All?
Yes, I've used it on a few of the tracks. I'm still
Is the black one?
I use the black one a lot too.
Yes.
And that has standard Fender pickups. Whereas on the stage I can't play a Fender with standard pickups because there's too much buzz. So I have to have special pickups. Unfortunately, because the Fender pickups that they make are so good, they give you a great sound. But when you play on stage, you get so many extraneous noises and buzzes. You have to play with a much more modified pickup that doesn't pick up all these sounds. So consequently, you lose a lot of the highs and lows, and you just get mid-range. But it's the price you have to pay for being on stage. It's very difficult to find a Fender that you can play on stage loud without making all these noises. Some places are okay, but you get a lot of radio interference and sort of things like that. So the pickups have to be modified.
Yes, and I have a friend here that wants to ask you a question.
Okay.
Hi Richie, here's Antonio. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We've been playing football together in Germany somewhere with Manny, if you remember this name.
Yes, I remember.
Hello. Very glad to talk to you. One question very quick, I don't want to bother you further. How did you find as an artist, as a musician, now alone, back on the road alone, I would say, not more in a band but with a personal project, how did you feel? Did you feel an improvement as a musician?
I don't feel an improvement as a musician. I just feel an improvement that the music, I think, is better and is more honest. With Deep Purple, it was a big kind of monster, and I could have just stayed with them playing very safe. But I wanted to play, be a little bit more on the edge, and play more fresh.
What I personally found, I listened to the record just twice, to be honest, because I listened just this afternoon.
Right.
And I found very much impressive. And may I tell you, I did not expect such a record, such a kind of music from yourself.
Right.
I don't want to be, it's not offensive, you believe me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
It's different because it's I don't want to say you were predictable with Purple or whatever, because things like Enya or something like that were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But now it's totally different. You feel it's honest, it's very courageous, and I really look forward to see you on stage what you can provide.
Yes, it was something that I felt the music was, I could do more than I was doing with Deep Purple. But when you have 5 egotistical maniacs, it's very hard to put your opinion on them because they all have their own opinions. So I wanted to be in a band that I could do what I wanted to do. And it's not because I wanted to dictate. It's just I felt there was better music that could be produced. And I didn't want to just keep it safe.
Okay. Just the very last question, then I put Pericle through it, and thank you very much so far. My impression is that your favorite Deep Purple record after the reunion of '84 has been Slaves and Masters, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I like Slaves and Masters.
Which song particularly? Truth Heart?
Yeah, that was a good song. Yeah, I like Truth Hurts and Wicked Ways.
Wicked Ways. Why did you quit Wicked Ways after a few shows?
You know, I don't know. Someone asked me that the other day. And I can't remember why. I think it was when we used to play it, it didn't go down well. Maybe that's what it was.
But Truth Heart was beautiful. 2 big solos, believe me.
Yeah, I like Truth Hurts. Good singing.
Yeah, definitely. I put very good. Thank you very much.
Okay,
See you on tour, eh?
Okay, definitely.
Ciao,
Bye-bye.
Ritchie. Bye.
And I have some unusual questions. I hope they will be stimulating for you.
Okay.
And who really is Ritchie Blackmore? I mean, people see you as the real image of you is the image of a dark and moody person, or there's something behind that?
Yes, it depends. I think I don't consciously go out of my way to be dark and moody, but I do go out of my way not to be an everyday, boring person. The fact that I don't do many interviews is because I don't feel that I have too much to say. And what I do say, I tend to change my mind the next day. And to me, I don't think also music should be spoken about too much. I think we should just play it, and it's up to the people what they think. I don't think musicians should have to go around being like politicians, trying to sell their music. I'm a firm believer in not saying much. Yeah, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'll talk a lot, but
And some days you don't talk at all.
That's right.
And what do you do in your everyday life when you're not on tour or you're not recording?
Sometimes I just sit in the garden and eat fruit.
And playing football?
I haven't played football for a while because I hurt my knee and I'm going to have an operation on my knee.
Oh.
Although I was playing last week. But yes, I sometimes like to play football because it's a release. It's such a simple game. It keeps you away from the mental anguish of being a musician. I think being a musician is this kind of a strange role to play, especially today when you can't really just play music. You have to try and play music that people will buy, music that will be popular, music that will be fashionable. That to me drives me nuts. Trying to fit in, which is like on this last LP, we just play the way that we like to play, and that's it.
No compromise.
No compromise and no fashion statement. So people who are into fashionable music of the moment probably won't like it. So, but it's not meant for those people. It's just meant for people that like music, for music's sake.
And do you like to go out and see other bands or have a drink in a pub and hear some live music?
Yes, but my type of live music that I like to listen to is more the medieval music.
I think it's a difficult kind of music to hear.
Really?
Really.
See, to me, it stimulates me, and I get very excited when I hear this old music. And I've heard rock and roll for a long time, and it doesn't really stimulate me very much listening to rock and roll, unless they have something very different, which is not very often. It tends to be the same thing, regurgitated.
Ritchie, sorry, it's Antonio again. Do you think there is space on stage with Rainbow for something like God Bless You, Merry Gentlemen?
Maybe at Christmas time.
No, not earlier.
Huh?
If you come to Italy in October, would it be fine to listen to you to play? You know what I mean?
Yes, I'll probably play it then and see what happens.
Okay, thanks.
And have you heard Ian Anderson solo CDs, 12 Dances with God?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Is it a new one?
Yes, it's a new one, and he plays classical tunes.
Oh, very good.
It's a solo, it's not a Jethro Tull record.
I'd like to get that.
Yes, because it may be very interesting for you,
Yes,
knowing that you like Ian so much.
That's right. Ian Anderson's great. He doesn't do things for fashion statements either. He's very, very talented man.
Did you ever have a jam with him, or?
No, never.
Never.
Because he's not the type of musician that will jam. Everything he does, I think, is worked out. and I find his music quite complicated. He's not the type of guy that's just going to sit down and sing a blues. It's very worked out.
And which are your memories of the Hamburg days and the Star Club and all that historic days?
I remember that. I mean, the Hamburg days. I first went there in '63 with Jerry Lee Lewis and Gene Vincent. But my favorite days probably in '65 when I was in the band called Three Musketeers.
Who did only one concert?
Well, no, we did about 8 concerts.
8 concerts?
They were very good. And they were a great band. There wasn't the pressure that there is now. There was no pressure at all. And those are the days when you think back to and remember, compared to today, when today everything is pressure. And pressure is a heavy word. I think there's far too much pressure in the world, and especially in music.
And is it true that in Three Musketeers you had to sing?
No, maybe. Just a backup singing.
Backup?
Yes.
And which are your memories of the first Deep Purple lineup with Evans and Simper?
Yes.
Because it is the lineup that started everything.
That's
even
right.
if it wasn't the lineup that had success.
Right. It's we had success in America, but not in Europe. That was a good lineup too. That was we had fun. But I think Deep Purple. I had fun in Deep Purple up until about '72. So the first two years, unfortunately, we were worked a lot in America. The agency tended to overwork us, and that didn't go down too well.
I remember that Tony Edwards once said after the split that you were a license to print money.
Yes, that's the type of thing he would probably say.
And about that time in 1971, 1972, you had a very brief project with Phil Lynott and Ian Pace that was called Babyface.
That's right.
Did you remember something in particular about that?
Because I think we just did 2 tracks, but they weren't finished. There were some good ideas there, but we couldn't really finish it because we didn't have the time. And again, there was a lot of pressure coming from Deep Purple. I was on the road with them all the time.
And it was a bluesy rock or...
That's right, it was bluesy rock. And the way Phil used to sing was more like a Hendrix thing.
Yes.
So it was more like a mountain.
Mountain, yeah, that's the worst. And how is your relationship with your family? I mean, did they ever encourage you in playing music, and do they particularly like your music?
Yes, I never speak much to my family about my music because they're not particularly musicians and they don't. I never really ask them what they think. It's never crossed my mind.
Never?
No, because I think they're more, the music they like would be more into something like the more standard type of jazz arrangement.
Big sound?
Yeah, the old big bands.
Yes.
And all that stuff. But,
even your brother?
Yeah, my brother really doesn't have much interest in music.
Oh.
He might have an interest in music if there's some sort of novelty approach, but he's not interested at all.
And before, you told me that there are not many nowadays bands that you dig, you like. But which do you think are the most one that you can listen to and have some fun, some joy?
Of the latest bands, by far the best band is King's X.
King's X.
They're very, very good. Excellent. The singer is brilliant. And the guitar player is good. And their sound is amazing.
Yes, and once I talked to John 2 years ago, and he told me that one of his dreams is to have a CD out with some of the reunion jams that you used to play, like Perfect Stranger's Day and some tracks like Son of Alaric. And do you think that this can be a good project, or because we don't hear much of yourself when you are playing jams, and I think it may be one important side.
In fact, there's a lot of jams that I did on my own, just with the drum machine in the studio, that came out very well, but we haven't worked on them. But they're there if someone wants to listen to them at some point.
And you don't like the fans to hear these jams?
Yeah, I just haven't got around to sort. I have hours of stuff that I should go through, but I find that there's a lot of stuff being released, not so much jams, but there's so much nonsense and rubbish being released by the record labels.
I mean, in the credits of the records, your credit is very strange. It is Via Music.
Right.
Is it right? And is there a particular meaning for the word Via?
Via is another word for spiritual communication. It means yes in French and yes in German, but not spelt that way. It's spelt a different way.
It's maybe connected to that sort of
it's
magic, sort of a Ouija tablet.
That's right. That's right. It's a communication.
And which are your the rainbow plans for immediate future? I mean, we know that the tour will start in Helsinki, which is very singular because it was the place where you finished the Deep Purple '93 tour.
That's right.
Maybe it's done on purpose.
No. Funny enough. I think we're starting now in Moscow.
Moscow.
Before Helsinki. I think. That's what I heard last night. That they're thinking about playing Moscow just before Helsinki.
And is there going to be a single or just a promo, one track?
Yes, I think maybe the single might be Hunting Humans.
Hunting Humans. Yes. And
or On the Mountain King. But they wanted to put up Stand the Fight, but I said I didn't really think that was a good single.
No, I think that All of the Mountain King or Hunting Humans is much better.
It is much better.
And how did you decide to have Still I'm Sad on your first Rainbow LP, because it was also in the first Rainbow
That's
LP?
Right. I've always liked the tune, and I did it as an instrumental way back, and we were playing it just for fun at rehearsals, and then when we finished playing it, the bass player and drummer said, "Oh, it might be a good idea to do that again." And I said, "Well, really?" I said, "Yeah, okay. Let's just do it for a bit of fun." And we did it very quickly. It was something, it was just supposed to be an extra track, but the record company liked it, so they put it out as a track. And the one that was going to be the real track, they kept as the extra track, which was Emotional Crime.
And this track will be used as a bonus?
Yes, that's right.
And on the CD single or?
On the CD, I think.
On the CD, yes. I think so. And do you agree that the version of Still I'm Sad on Stranger in Us All is very different from the one you did in 1975?
Yes. It's kind of, I think it sums up a melancholy point of view to it. Maybe it's like saying still I'm sad. You'll always be sad.
And do you think it's one of the songs that you will play on stage? Because your version.
Yes, we probably will play it on stage. Probably.
Yes.
That's down on my list.
It's down on my list.
Yes.
Is it a very long list?
No, it's about 3 songs at the moment.
3 songs. and the other 2 are Hunting Humans and The Whole of the Mountain King.
Yes, we just keep repeating those all night.
That I think it will be interesting too, because you are very good in improvising.
Thank you.
And every night it's very different. The songs are the same, but the music is not the same.
That's right.
And which is your favorite Rainbow record?
It'd probably be this one.
Probably this one.
Yeah. I know it's supposed to be very professional to say that, but I think.
But I don't think you do. You say many professional things in interview, so maybe I don't know. I think it's very honest. And about your, I mean, in my opinion, you are playing now technically as better as you ever played. Do you agree with my opinions? I mean, the 1993 tour, even if you weren't very happy with Ian on stage, from the guitar point of view, the Deep Purple fans found it very astonishing.
Yes, I agree, because I think I play better now than I did before. And it's strange because certain people, they get very nostalgic about Machine Head and things like that, which were good LPs. And I hear lots of times people say, oh, Ritchie played his best in those days. When in actual fact, I didn't. I play my best now. It's just that they remember those songs from those days. So there's also a lot of guitar players that are very good. So maybe they're getting mixed up. I mean, although I think I'm improving, there are also a lot of guitar players that are very good. So there's a lot of guitar players out there, and maybe it's not so obvious as it was, say, in 1970.
And about 1970, when you recorded Deep Purple and Rock, it was conscious the way you wanted the Deep Purple sound to change, or it's something that just happened naturally?
It was a very conscious effort. I said to John Lord, I'm getting tired of playing with orchestras. I want to make a rock and roll record. And I said, if it doesn't work, then we'll go back to playing with orchestras. And that's what happened.
It must be very boring playing with orchestras.
It was at that time, because I wasn't too keen on the music we were playing with orchestras. I felt the whole thing that we were doing with an orchestra wasn't particularly musical. It was just a novelty. And I didn't like that. I didn't like being involved in a band that was doing something like a gimmick. Unlike, I really liked the way that things turned out with the orchestra in Japan with Rainbow. We did Beethoven's Night, and David Rosenthal wrote an extra piece, and we did that with an orchestra, and that was very integrated, and that worked. That wasn't just a gimmick, but I felt the early stuff, the orchestra version, whatever it was for band, I didn't see that as musically anything.
Yes, and about your group, it was your idea to find musicians that weren't very famous from a popular point of view.
Yes, that's right. I like to be with musicians that are just enthusiastic and are doing it for the first time, and everything is fresh to them, and that kind of rubs off on me. Then I get more excited about the whole deal. Whereas if I'm with people that have done it for a long time, it's all a little bit predictable. So I like to take a chance with new musicians too. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes things like the first bass player we had in the band didn't work. The first singer we had didn't work. The first singer had a great voice, but as soon as we started to rehearse, I suddenly realized he couldn't improvise. And I assumed that any singer could improvise.
Yes.
So I then had to get another singer. And the bass player had a terrible habit of just stopping. He was a very strange bass player. He would be playing, and after about 10 bars, he would just stop. And I'd look at him and say, "Why are you stopping?" And he would start playing again. And then he would stop again. So that was, we had to get rid of him too. So people have come and gone.
And do you think, or maybe do you hope that this lineup can become very tight and stay together for a couple of years and make a sort of development?
Maybe. We'll see how it goes. I could probably answer that question
after the tour.
That's right. I'll see how everybody is after the tour. It would be nice for it to work, but you never know what can happen.
And about one of the records that is regarded by fans as one of the records with one of Ritchie Blackmore best guitar stuff is Burn. Do you agree with this idea? Some tracks like Burn, Mistreated, or You Fool No One.
Yeah, I think Mistreated and Burn was very good. You Fool No One was okay. Yeah, some of it was okay. I think it was, if I have the time, usually away, we have a restful period and you get excited about new members, you put in you have a new kind of enthusiasm that comes through. Whereas if you're playing with the same old guys, you just keep turning out music, the same stuff, it gets very boring. So Burn, we had 2 new members at that point. Yet Stormbringer, the one straight afterwards,
Yes.
wasn't very good. I mean, Stormbringer, this song was good, but that was it for me. I didn't like anything else.
Yes, and what do you think of your guitar style nowadays? Do you think that on the record is the opinion I had from listening to it? It was that your style has become even more aggressive sometimes, especially in the rhythmic lines.
Yeah, I like to play rhythm guitar a lot, and usually when I'm playing rhythm guitar, I do it just for an effect, and then I go back to playing a solo on record. But a few times that I played rhythm just for fun, Pat Reagan kind of heard it and liked it, so I left it to his discretion as to what he brought up, and that's why every now and again you'll hear some rhythm parts that I played more as more out of just fun than actually thinking they would be put down on record. But I have a bad habit. I tend to, when I play in the studio, I'll play one way, and then when the red light goes on to record, I'll play another way. And lots of times people have said, "Why don't you play the other way? Before you knew you were being recorded, you were playing much better." Often I'll say, "Yes, I know that. It's just a bad habit I have of playing, of being a little bit sterile when I play, when I know I'm being recorded. I don't take too many chances. Whereas if I don't think I'm being recorded, I can play from my heart, but I can't play that twice. So unless they get it straight off, then it's gone. Very often people say, "Oh, do that again." I go, "I can't do it again. I've done it once. I can only do that once."
That's why I told you before that we would love to hear some of your jams.
Yeah.
That's why.
I do have a lot of the jams. I
Yeah.
have to look them up and maybe think about that, because
Yes.
maybe a lot of other people, there is, on my jams, on the stuff that hasn't been released, my guitar playing is probably a lot better. But it's just jamming and playing my own feeling.
And do you usually listen to your records?
Not very much.
Not very much.
I hear it so much as we're doing it that I tend to get it's a combination of a lot of things. I'll hear some of my music back and I'll get so frustrated because it's not right that I prefer sometimes not to hear it because it's not how I want to hear it. And people might say, well, how do you want to hear it? So, well, I don't know. Maybe in my own mind I know deep down, but I don't have the patience to be in a control room mixing my own music. I just get too bored. Music to me is something that should just be played, done, and it should be gone. But today, sometimes it can take 3 weeks to do one track. And usually by the time I've spent 3 weeks on one song, I've completely lost interest in what I'm doing.
Did that happen with Stranger in Us All?
There's a couple of tracks that I took a while on. And I can't think offhand, but it might have done, yeah. It happens to nearly everything I do. If I play something once, it's gone. I'm tired of it. The 10th time through, I've kind of lost interest, and all I'm doing is just trying to play it correctly, rather than what I'm really feeling.
Yes, and did you find any difference between Roger and Pat as a producer?
Pat is probably a lot more musical because he's a keyboard player, but they're both similar. They are similar.
They are similar.
Yeah, they are similar. But Pat does a little bit more coaxing of the voice. He knows how something will turn out a little bit more.
To me, Pat seems very good for the drum sound.
Right, he likes heavy drum sound, that's right.
Yeah, very, very heavy and crisp too.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
I felt that Roger was very good in a lot of areas. He was very good with his patience. He was very good at helping people to achieve something. I felt his worst downfall was his ear on the mix. I don't think he knew. I don't think he knows what a good sound is. I don't think he doesn't know what a good mix is.
Yeah, concerning your sound in the studio, you always complain that the studio quality were not as good as your stage performance. I mean, in terms of sounding of your guitar. Did you find? I found that your sound in this record is very much close to the stage quality. Do you agree?
Yes, I think so. The way Pat recorded me this time was, I'm used to having the microphones about 6 feet from my cabinets, and he recorded me very close with hardly any echo. And when I first heard the sound, I didn't like it. But he said that the closer it is mic, the more beef, the more meaty the sound, the heavier. And it's true, when I listened back at the end, the guitar was more up front, because I like to my guitar to have echo on it. And I don't like my guitar to be too loud. I play loud, but I like it to be mixed in with the band. A lot of people used to say to me, we can't hear your guitar. But I didn't want it too loud. Although sometimes I've heard on stage that some of the mixes we used to have, they didn't have me up at all. So I had some problems in that area. But I like the guitar to be in context. I don't like it to be too loud. Someone like Jimi Hendrix, that to me is too loud. I like it mixed down. In fact, Eddie Van Halen has it mixed down.
Yeah.
His guitar is not overbearing. You can hear the drums and the bass and the vocal. It's not just him.
What do you think about the evolution that many guitar players have nowadays? Do you like them, or do you think they are too much close to a indulgement?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem today is everybody is playing very fast. The shredding thing has got out of hand. But although they've stopped, now that musicians have stopped doing that, I don't think there was enough. Everybody was copying everybody else. A lot of the guitar players today were all copying each other.
Correct.
They had all gone buy the Guitar Player magazine and learn how to play the licks of the guitarist that was in there the week before. So then you had two guitarists playing the same thing, and then somebody else would read that music, and then you had hundreds and thousands of guitar players all playing the same effects, same runs, same sound. Whereas I was never particularly good at copying people. I could copy them a little bit, and then I'd have to make up something on my own because I couldn't hear exactly what was being played. So consequently, I suppose I have a style. People say, "Oh, you have a style." I go, "Yeah, that's because I find it hard to copy anybody, and I get bored too. I can only copy another guitar player so much, and then I start to lose interest."
Correct. Well, I feel that this is my opinion. The guys should get back to people like yourself, Jeff Beck, and even earlier to B.B. King and these sort of guitar players, which offer, I would say, a personal style, a personal feel. Do you agree?
No, I agree, and I also feel that today too many guitarists are trying to impress, be flashy, rather than actually having anything to say. It's no good just playing exercises if they're not an extension of the song. They have to say something too.
In fact, I've been impressed. I remember I met you once in Milan, in backstage. You were doing exercises, and I say, "Oh, it's gonna be one solo of Ritchie's on stage." And when you came on stage, you didn't play even a note of this exercise, which didn't happen to other guitar players, which spend hours repeating the same solo, and every night it's the same.
That's right. It's strange. I tend to, when I'm on stage, I have no idea what I'm going to play. I know the song, but it depends on my mood as to what I'm going to play.
Which is fucking good. You know what I mean? I never got bored with you, honestly. I want to be honest. I have not to be, I don't want to flatter.
Sometimes it's good, but then other times when people expect the encores, they expect something, because if your mood is not a good mood, then it can backfire.
Yeah, sure.
I know that Jeff Beck is very similar. He tends to just play the first thing that comes to his mind.
For instance, do you think, talking about a guitar, acoustic guitar, do you ever feel you're going to play it on stage this time?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been playing them. Most of the time, the reason I don't play acoustic guitar on stage is because there's so many buzzes and noises, and I think you have to have a really quiet audience. And I like to play acoustic guitar if I'm playing in front of 20 people. But if there's a lot of people, it's very hard to keep them to be quiet enough to actually enjoy playing something classical.
Do you think that Candice will appear on stage as a backup vocals, as she did in some songs of your record? Or
right. She will be on stage, backstage kind of thing.
You don't want to show her on stage, or don't you?
No, she's too ugly.
What?
She's too ugly.
No, I think she's really nice. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, she is.
Probably you don't like her. Okay, you're probably ugly as a band. I mean, you're mean as a band.
No, it would be a bit out of context, I think, if you could see the singers, because the bass player.
I know Dougie.
Yeah.
I know Dougie.
The bass player sings, and the keyboard player sings, so there'll be a lot of voices, which would be good. Plus, can you be singing something with voices?
Okay, yesterday night, or 2 nights ago, I had the opportunity to talk to Dougie.
Right.
And as you know, he used to live at Jim's home, etc., etc., so we started having some talk together, and he, with his typical Scottish accent, he told me, "Hey Antonio, it's gonna be a fucking good album, and believe me, we're gonna kick asses on stage." So we honestly wait to see on stage. Do you foresee what the show would be in terms of in terms of tension, not what kind of music you're gonna play, which song is gonna be in, etc.?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of tension then. there's always tension if I'm on stage.
Yeah, but I don't mean nervous tension. I mean, you know what I mean in terms of being there.
Yeah, I've seen Doogie's very good on stage. He knows how to improvise immediately. The only trouble with Doogie is I've got to watch that he doesn't give too much, because he tends to give so much of himself that the next day he'll lose his voice for a day.
I see.
So we have to kind of tell him to kind of cool it and not to overdo it.
Sure.
He does get carried away because he's very enthusiastic on stage. He likes to work hard on stage.
I heard that during your sessions jam session in Long Island in clubs, you used to play also things like Jimi Hendrix or very old rainbow stuff like Temple of the King, etc. You think it's going to be material good for your forthcoming tour?
The good thing about Doogie is he knows all these songs. So if I want to play one, I can just play it and he'll follow.
Cool.
So, and we have, it's funny because we have an act that we do which is all acoustic. We often go to places and play just him singing and me playing guitar, and we often do all the old songs, but strange type of songs, folk songs, English folk songs, Scottish folk songs.
Which would be a very good encore for your shows, don't you
Maybe
think?
we were thinking about when we finish on stage, running out to the front of the theatre and playing an acoustic thing.
Because I remember, to be honest, okay, I don't want to hide anything, but with Purple you nearly had the same running order with the same songs, and so it would be a great opportunity now to listen to very new material. I mean, okay, it's up to you. I don't want to tell you anything about that, you know what I mean, but to have very fresh and strange song would be great from the audience, very much appreciate, because they know you and they know what you can give and provide.
That's right.
Okay, I put Perico through again. Thank you, Rich.
Okay.
And about the lyrics of the record, and did you help on writing them, or it was just Dougie who wrote them?
It was Doogie and Candy that wrote them. I really didn't have much to do with the lyrics.
And is there a particular lyric you like most?
I like the Aerial, which I will be remixing tomorrow night.
And for a single or just?
No, we're just going to remix it because I didn't like the what happened with
for the official record. Remixing the track for the official record, right?
That's right.
So it will be different from the tape we have.
That's right, and Black Masquerade will be different too.
Black Masquerade?
That will be slightly different. The synthesizer wasn't loud enough playing the main riff, and I've got to get that mixed up. Because I was away in Germany at the time when it was mixed. When I came back, I noticed those two things weren't right.
Yes, and about hunting humans, do you think there is a similarity with Solitaire, the track on the Battery Design, which was very unusual for Deep Purple? Or maybe you don't know? Solitaire.
And which other one?
Hunting Humans, which is a kind of mid-tempo that builds on you.
Yeah.
It's not straight rock and roll.
No, that's right. It was I like to play those type of things because the straight rock and roll stuff gets very boring. So I occasionally go into that other stuff.
And what about Silence? Do you think that I think that Dougie did a very good job of it. Do you agree?
Yes, I think so. That's a good track. It swings, that track. The drums are very good too.
Drums.
Yeah, the actual rhythm.
Yes.
Because it's based on an old kind of riff. A Man with a Golden Arm. It came out in 52, I think.
52. And who wrote that?
I don't know, some jazz player, I think.
Some jazz player.
Yeah.
Oh. And finally, would you like to say something to the Italian fans of Ritchie Blackmore? Maybe something that, because when I talked to you other times, you told me that the Italian audience is a very good audience.
That's right. Yes, I look forward to playing to the Italian fans because they're very passionate and they're very into rock, classical music. Unlike American people, don't understand classical music at all. They just like blues and they like their pop songs and they like to party. Where the Italian audience listens more and they're moved by more of the classical sounds and more of the classical chord structures. And I think that it goes into their architecture too. The Italians are very flamboyant with their old architecture. And I think that reflects in their music that they like. It's nice to hear a lot of the stuff that I like, some of the music to some of the films. The Italians have this much more classical, Gothic inspired theatrical music, and there's much more drama involved. That's why I like to play to them, because they appreciate that.
Yes, they want to listen what you play before cheering you.
That's right.
It's almost like the Japanese fans.
Yes, Japanese are good too. They're not as theatrical, but they're very polite and they listen.
Okay, Ritchie, we thank you for the interview. It's been a very pleasure, and we want to say a good hello from all the Italian fans.
Okay, great. And we'll have a game of soccer when we see you.
Oh, I hope so.
Great.
I hope
Okay,
so.
Nice talking.
Thanks very much.
Best.
Bye, Rich.
Bye-bye.